what's up? This is going to be a no dopamine, super long 60-minute guide of everything that I've learned after being e-com for multiple years now. And instead of making a video course like everyone else, I decided to give it all away for free. So this is like this video, I'm going to tell you everything I know. And if you watch this video all the way through the end, then you will know what to do. And you will have at least the information that you can then implement. Okay. So first part, like very importantly, what most people already fail at is to overcomplicate the entire process, right? Because e-com can always be broken down into two very simple steps: getting traffic and converting traffic. That's all you need to do. And so let's actually start by looking at the getting traffic part, because at first you need to have people on your store. It doesn't matter what product you sell, it doesn't matter what you do. At first, obviously, you need to even get people interested in the stuff that you sell. Okay, so instead of just telling you, okay, product research, this is how you find a winning product, and this is this, no, you have to understand, break it down. Getting traffic and converting traffic. All the other stuff does not matter. That's all you need to do. So the very first step when it comes to getting traffic to your store is by choosing the right channel, right? That's the very first thing that you need to understand how to properly do. And that's already where most people fail, because choosing the right channel means that you not only, okay, well, I always did TikTok ads, so I'm gonna do TikTok ads, or I'm gonna do Facebook ads, well, because, you know, XYZ said Facebook ads is the best, or I'm doing organic and I don't want to hear anything about like anything else, okay? So you need to understand that all of the traffic sources work, and you need to, later on when you're branding, have all of them send traffic to your store. But at first, the first one is the most crucial one, the most important one. And that's where most people fail. Because you want to, with whatever product you sell, whatever your store is called, okay, whatever you do, you need to be different from your competitors. And if all of your competitors are selling a product, a specific product, for example, on TikTok ads or TikTok shop, then why don't you take that to Facebook ads, right? Or another example, a lot of people sell very problem-solving, boring old people products on Facebook, and it doesn't work out because there are hundreds of people doing the same thing. What works very well for me personally recently is taking those very boring problem-solving products to native ads, right? Most people haven't even heard of native ads. They don't even know what that is. Native ads are basically when you look on weather.com, you scroll down, all these, very gimmicky, scammy looking ads. But that's essentially native ads, and you're going to get very old people clicking on that. But there's a lot of them, and they convert really well. However, you have to obviously, have a little bit of experience with funnels, all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't matter. And also, like, I wanted to say that real quick. There are brands that only are on Google. They only exist on Google ads, right? They don't have any meta. They don't have any TikTok stuff going on. They don't have any native. There are brands that only do Google push marketing. They're actively buying market share on Google. Most people think Google ads is just retargeting, but it's absolutely not. There are brands which, a lot of brands, 80% of their traffic is coming from Google. And they're also, like I just said, brands that only exist on Google. So choosing the right channel means, instead of thinking what's the best channel, what's the easiest, most untapped channel, no, it's actually thinking, how can I be different from my competition? Because that's when stuff is going to work. When you do a little bit of a twist, when you add your own twist to things, okay? So that's the very first step, choosing the right channel. And the only thing that comes down to is which channel for this product that I want to sell is the most untapped for this product, not in general. Like, you can't say, oh yeah, so TikTok shop is super good because there's not a lot of products. No, like, you have to understand that whatever channel, like, let's say you're selling a back pain relief product, okay? If everyone's targeting on Facebook, right? If everyone's, selling that on Facebook ads, and all the markets, all the countries, everything that you can do different on Facebook is already, already someone has taken advantage of that. And you have to take it to, let's say, Google ads, right? You buy active market share, you test keywords, or you take it to native ads, right? You have all these different choices. Second step, right, to getting traffic is direct response creatives. So you have to understand one thing. You are selling. If you're doing e-com, essentially you're selling. You're selling real products to real people, And if you're essentially like one step ahead, if you're a dropshipper, so not only e-com at all, or like e-com overall, but if you're dropshipping, then you depend basically on first time purchases. And first time, like, it's very unlikely that if you're dropshipping and don't have a warehouse, if not a very experienced dropshipper, then even if you use a private supplier, honestly, like, it's very unlikely that people are going to be so satisfied that they're going to recommend you, and crucial part, buy again. A lot of brands obviously aren't profitable upfront, which I'm going to talk about later, but they have the advantage that their customer journey and experience is so good that they basically grow because of word of mouth and because every single customer buys again, if that makes sense. But as a dropshipper, you're not going to have these two things at all. So you depend on instant front end profitability. And obviously one part of that is the offer, which we're going to talk about soon. However, the other part when it comes to getting traffic that buys instantly is direct response. So direct response marketing is something which you have to understand and learn. And there's like 10 to 15 elements for that, which I'm not going to go through all of them. But the most important ones are basically two of them, right? First one is you need to spike their curiosity of the people that watch your ads. Or actually, I'm going to tell you three. One of them is absolutely understanding your avatar at first. That's step number one. Because if you understand your customer avatar, if you have your dream perfect customer in mind always, then it's super simple to write hooks, super simple to come up with a bunch of different ad concepts that they will react to. It's super simple to call out your target audience because they will understand, like, you have to make people feel like you're saying their name. You have to interrupt their doom scrolling. Like, how dare you interrupt them when they're scrolling, right? Like, you can't just get away with a mediocre ad. It's not going to work nowadays, okay? It has to be super, super, super good, right? And direct response, the very first step is to have a perfect, better understanding of your target audience than all of your competition, all of your competitors. Step number two is spiking their curiosity. And the most important part, obviously, of that is your hook. So in the first 2 seconds on TikTok, you have to completely call them out and, again, make them feel like this ad or whatever you're showing them right now is specifically tailor-made for them and for no one else but them, right? You have to make them feel like this video has been made only for them personally, not for a broad audience, because then it's not going to work. Like, for that one particular person, right? And then you're going to have a very good chance that the person is actually going to click to your store. So curiosity also means that you don't just give away everything in the ad. So you can't just basically leak every part of your entire offer and everything of your store and, make a 5-minute long, I mean, you can make 5-minute long ads, but you can't give away everything. You have to make them curious enough to click on your website. That's as simple as that. It's not really like, if you give away everything, if you leak every information, then they already make the purchase decision on your ad, but it's way too short for that. Like, that's not the ad's job. The ad's job is just to make people curious enough to click on the website. But the website's job, the funnel's job, I would say, is to convert people. It's not the ad's job. Of course, you can't make someone make a purchase decision and optimally for more than $50, $60, $70 in 30 seconds. Of course, yes, there are always low-hanging fruits, but you're not going to scale very high if you do that. So make them very curious and don't give away everything, because then it's going to fail. The ad is not going to perform for a very long time or perform at all, right? And the third step in this paradigm of direct response is that you have to give away a lot of social proof. Social proof, testimonials. People want to see that what you tell them, what you interrupted them with when they're scrolling, actually works for other people. Because you didn't have to do this 10 years ago. If you ran a Facebook ad 10 years ago or 8 years ago or 5 years ago, what would happen is, people saw that and then, oh my God, this is so cool. I've never seen something like this before. Then they would click and then the website would convert them. But the problem is that nowadays, like you've probably heard me talking about market sophistication in one of my other videos, which means essentially the more, like the longer time goes on, the more competitors are in a market, the more buying experiences someone has made, and also the higher the skepticism of the people is. Which means in ecom, we have a very, very, very sophisticated market with paid socials, right? So Facebook ads, TikTok ads, all these things, very, very, like completely aware market. And so you have to make bigger claims than everyone else. You have to be better. And the best way to do that is to have real, actual solid reviews, which showcase all types of people, young people, old people, every ethnicity, all these things, genders. So that too. And then you have to, the testimonials that they make, right, have to be realistic, and the content of the review matters a lot, right? So a lot of people just throw 3 reviews onto their website, or don't even mention social proof in their ads, and like you expect anything to work. No, people already are super skeptical, because let's say they have seen, like that's the problem, they have already seen 100 other dropshipping ads. You need to stand out, right? So you need to implement social proof into your ads already, not only your website. The ads matter a lot, okay? So you need to back up that curiosity that they now have after watching the hook with a bunch of social proof. You need to like throw that into their faces. You need to drown them in testimonials and social proof, right? And then they're still gonna be skeptical, because they still have seen so many ads already. So that's the second step, direct response. The third step of getting traffic is iterative media buying. So iterative, like an iteration, means that you do something, you measure it, how it performed, and then you do it again, but then you work on the same thing. Like you have all these iterations, iteration. So instead of, and this is really important for creative testing, I'm going to explain why. Instead of testing 50 ad concepts, throwing 50 ad concepts at a wall and seeing what sticks, what you do is you have all these ad concepts, you think them through. First of all, you absolutely implement every single direct response variable that I've just talked about. And then once you actually test those, you will realize, let's say every single one is unprofitable. What most dropshippers would do is they would just move on, and they would just say, oh yeah, it's the product is terrible. But it doesn't work like that. Let's say they're going to realize all of them, why did it fail? Why was it unprofitable? Why didn't it work? Okay, let's say I didn't get sales because my CPCs were too high. If you move on because of that they're always going to move on. It's not possible. It's very, very hard to just find something that immediately everything works. It's very, very hard. So you look at all the metrics and you break stuff down step by step, which means step number 1 is, did my hooks hook people, right? How are my hook rates? So let's say ad concept 3 has a 50% hook rate. Every other person was watching the first 3 seconds of my ad. That's insane. That's great. That's fantastic. So what happened after that? Then you look at the 25% video views. Let's say, there's a big drop off between hook rates and 25% video views, which means my hook did not align with the rest of the ad, or at least immediately after the hook, there was a big drop off. So now you know, okay, if I fix the body and the call to action, it's going to click. Then what you do is you take that good hook, right? You take it, it's still not profitable. It still hasn't gotten you any sales, but you take what worked best and then you make iterations, make variations with that, right? So you go testing deeper in what worked a little bit. And then you have let's say you have 10 new creatives ready, just based off of that one hook that worked really well. Now let's say one of them got a sale. Cool. So let's check out what happened here. Well, the call to action was this, right? But there was still the click-through was pretty low. So what can I change up? Well, you can make it shorter. You can change up the music. You can make the person speak faster. You can add in more social proof, whatever, okay? So you can do all these things to make even more people then click on your stuff, right? And then you test more within that only one that got the sale. And then suddenly 5 of those 10 that you test in round 3, iteration 3, creative test 3, got sales. So you already have 5 sales. Now let's say one of them actually got 2 sales. So now you test more within that. And then you make the stuff profitable step by step by step by step by step. And I promise you one thing, with this approach, like iteratively looking at every single creative test and seeing what went wrong, you can make every product work. It doesn't matter what you sell, every product can be made, like you can marry a product, you can commit to a product, you can say, I'm only gonna sell this product for the rest of my life. Obviously it's stupid to do that, but you could, and you would make it work. Like it could work potentially. You just have to figure everything out. And I promise you, if you only test creatives once for every product you test, and then you move on to another product every single time, then it's very unlikely. Of course, you're gonna lucky here and then, but let's face it, you haven't really learned a lot, and you don't know why you found this product market fit in the first place. So even if it works for you, even if you do get lucky after 5 product tests, let's say you are pretty good at making ads, you are pretty good at this and that, but you still move on, and then like you move on too quickly and you find a product market fit after five attempts. Let's say you make 100K. Cool, made 100K. But now it's died out because you're ad fatigued, or like, let's say competition came into the market, the refunds started coming in, ad fatigue, your ad account got shut down, all the problems start coming in, and then you just say, okay, let me move on to another product. Now you're basically back at zero. Of course you've learned a lot, you've made a lot of money, but you can't really replicate it because you don't know why you found the product market fit on specifically this one ad. And you can make every product work with this iterative approach. And that's kind of the mindset that I want you to have. Every product is sellable. It's just a scale. There are no winning products. Every product is sellable. It's just how easy is it to sell and how easy is it to fulfill, and how hard is it to sell, how hard is it to fulfill. That's it. Fourth topic that I'm going to cover is marketing angles, right? So when it comes to how to be different overall, right? There's a million ways, but I found for my personal success, the easiest way, or the most long-term way of being different is changing up the marketing angle that everyone is targeting. A marketing angle essentially is like, who are you selling that product to? So it's the same product, but different audience, different messaging. So for example, you have this breathing plushie. That's always the example that I give, right? But you have a breathing plushie product. Everyone was targeting babies. Someone just came to the market and targeted towards pets. Same product, but it just changed up the target audience, and it worked again. And he was the first one to sell that product in that specific target audience. Even though he was selling to the US like everyone else, even though it was the same exact product, he bought it from the same exact supplier like everyone else, but it was a completely new target audience, and that's how it worked again for him. And everyone else that's trying to scrape on the baby angle still hadn't made it work, okay? So marketing angles are very powerful, and even though I like the approach as well of changing up the country that you sell to, right? It's still not the most long-term way to do things, because essentially, if you don't understand marketing angles, your store or your abilities will always face a cap, a certain plateau, which you can't go hit through. Because essentially what's going to happen is, if your store exists for 3 months or more, and then you scale actively on that store, there's always going to be competitors that are going to start in that same market ripping your stuff. And some of them are going to make it work, let's face it. Right? So what's going to happen is that angle is going to get much more sophisticated. Your ads will fatigue much more quickly. Your CPMs will rise up, which means you have 2 ways to combat that. First of all, you just move on to another store. Second of all, you actually go ahead and start thinking about how can I stay ahead of all these competitors that are starting to rip me? Well, the easiest way to do that is to test multiple angles. And what's funny is a lot of big brands even have multiple angles at the same time. A lot of people don't talk about this, but marketing angles super powerful, and they cap at certain revenue points. Like, there are brands which make like $1 million a month. Let's say it's an 8-figure brand, and they make $1 million a month. And a lot of them actually have like 10 different angles of like 100K a month each, right? So let's say someone would sell that brand, that breathing plushie product. what they could do is make 100K per month with the baby angle, 100K per month with the pet angle, and then another, whatever, with other angles that they could think of and that they test, because you actively have to test new angles constantly. They already make more. So if you always just niche down and just always just speak to one, like you have to constantly ask yourself, how can I extend or grow my business even more? And sometimes you also have to add in multiple dream customer avatars. You can't just forever focus on only one, especially in e-com. I've seen that the easiest way to kill your store is to just niche down on one thing. You have to be open for everything that's new, not only for angles specifically, but very important for this topic. Topic number 5 for getting traffic is creative testing overall. So there's a lot of misconceptions in what creative testing means, or how many creatives you have to test, or ad concepts, angles, variations, hook, body, call to action. I'm just gonna break it down how I do it, because with creative testing, one thing, there's a million ways that work, okay? It's like in every business model as well, but I can just talk about what worked for me. So what I do when I test creatives is so let's say I have one angle that I want to test. Let's say we're not gonna talk about multiple angle testing. Let's say I have an angle, I want to test this angle today, angle XYZ. Instead of saying product test, I'm saying angle test, okay? I'm testing this angle. So what I do, very first step is, after obviously having my dream customer avatar, right, and make that list, and then I open up a Google Doc and write down things like, what types of ad concepts would this exact angle, like this exact customer avatar, react to? And a lot of people, and this is super interesting, react to very different stuff. Like if you and one of your friends sit down and scroll for half an hour on Insta Reels, you would get a lot of different reels. Some of them get like stupid brain rot memes. Some of them get like street interviews. Some of them get AI generated stuff. Some of them get image ads. Some of them get there's so many concepts that you can do. And brainstorm and actively do your research in what types of ad concepts work for this specific target audience, right? And then you brainstorm. You sit down, you write down all of those things, and then you start actually either getting content, UGC, buying it, or just working with content that's already out there, which is obviously not the most long-term approach, but you can test products with that. It's fine. You're not going to run into issues. So you take the content, right? And then you start executing these ad concepts that you figured out. So let's say you make let's say you have picked, okay, I'm going to make, for my bottom of funnel people, I'm going to make offer focused image ads. For my top of funnel, I'm going to make I make street interviews. I'm going to make AI UGC ads. I'm going to make product benefit showcase, whatever. Okay. Let's say you make these 3. Now, what's going to happen is you're taking the content that you have. Obviously, if you don't have street interview footage of that specific product, then you have to get it or record it yourself. Very simple. But yeah, I would say work with content that's already out there in the beginning, and then you absolutely just execute these ad concepts. And then you make variations for each ad concept, or at least that's how I do it, right? So when I have an ad concept, one ad, I have a creative ready. Let's say UGC. Let's say one of my concepts is UGC. What I do is I change up only one variable at a time and make a variation of that ad. So it could be the same hook, but it could be a completely much shorter version of that ad. And then third one is a much longer, or I make 3 variations in total, just to make that clear. But what you could do is also just change up small things like only the music, right? Because the music can make a big difference, or the call to action, or just having the same concept, which is UGC, but only changing up the hook can also be very powerful, right? 3 different hook variations. Do the same thing for image ads. If you have an offer focused image ad, obviously what's going to happen is you're going to have a headline calling out a specific demographic or a problem or whatever, and then at the bottom somewhere, you're going to mention the offer. That's for very bottom of funnel, very aware people, right? However, if you like make an image ad and just same image, same background, you only change up the headline 3 different times. You have 3 image ads ready. So you have an ad concept, and within that ad concept, 3 variations. Same thing you can do for, let me think about an ad concept. Street interviews. Let's say you interview 3 different people, 3 variations for that concept, which is street interviews. And then you have like a lot of these concepts, right? So you should, every single creative test, I like to at least, so whenever, okay, hold on. Whenever I like to test a new product, I'm gonna test like 10 different concepts. Obviously, later on, when I scale, I have an ad concept that's doing super well, outperforming every other ad concept. What I'm doing is I'm spending 80% of my time, it's the 80-20 rule. I'm spending 80% of my time only improving and making variations and kind of, iterating my proven ad concept, and only 20% for testing new ones. Right? That's how you actively find new winning ads. That's the easiest way to find new winning ads into your ad account constantly. Okay. So topic number 6, when it comes to getting traffic, is why media buying does not matter at all. Media buying means that how you run your ads, right? Media buying, you buy media, you pay ad platforms to show your ads to people. Very simple. Or on Google, you pay them to get you clicks, whatever. So why does it not matter how you run your ads? Well, it doesn't matter at all, because nowadays with a good creative, you can't do anything wrong. Ad platforms are spending billions of dollars every single year so that it's easier for every person, every human being to run ads. Like Facebook is spending so much money for every single XYZ to be able to create a Facebook ad account and to just upload some ads. It's really not hard. It's really not difficult to run ads. It doesn't matter who you are, okay? It's very simple. So how can you combat that? Well, the easiest way to combat that is by having banger creatives. And it does not matter at all how you run your ads, because with a banger 10 out of 10 creative, it doesn't matter if you run it with an ABO, it doesn't matter if you run it with a CBO, with an Advantage Plus, with a Performance Max on Google, with a Smart Plus Advantage, whatever, on TikTok, right? It doesn't matter how you run that ad, it's going to work and convert. Obviously, media buying is something which gets super important later on. Once you start, for example, surfing on Facebook, let's say it's Q4, and you operate with really high budgets. I'm talking multiple thousands of dollars a day for each campaign. Then once you start like actively intraday scaling on Facebook, then it's very important to have a very good, quick decision-making, non-emotional process, right? And that's the most important part, because if something nowadays still is very important, if one thing about media buying, how you run your ads, which is still important, is always going to be important, it's obvious, but especially beginners are making this mistake, is they're getting emotional about ad spend. And you can't let that happen. You cannot get emotional about any of your ad spend. Because once you do that, like if you turn off something that does not perform after like a couple days of running it, or a couple hours even, like on Facebook, everything needs time to optimize. So let's say something that's good soft metrics, you get cheap traffic, but it doesn't convert. You still need to let it run. And yes, you're gonna watch your money go away, but you have to let it run. And if you just run like very, very low budgets, then you have to obviously just run that low budgets for longer periods of time to see results with that. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense to just then, okay, I'm going to decrease my budgets to save money. You're not saving money, and you're running a business here, right? That's a very big misconception here, which I see a lot of beginners make, is they get into e-com and they think it's going to be an easy, quick cash side hustle, right? Because XYZ guru said that. It's hard. It's very tough to approach it that way, because it's a business. I mean, e-commerce is a business model. You're running a real, legitimate business, and you're selling real stuff to real human beings. And oftentimes it's you're forgetting that. You have to constantly remind yourself that's a business and take it seriously. Like e-com, and people say, okay, well, I have to invest money. What is this? Like I thought I could just like get into it and make quick cash. Like, compare the starting cost of an e-com store with the starting costs of a restaurant, like of a software company. Like You're going to invest millions or at least hundreds of thousands of dollars into that before even seeing if it's going to work or not. With this, like with an e-com store, it's so easy to test your approach and to improve your skills quickly. Like, it's one of the easiest business models if you actually approach it the right way and if you understand it. And that's my goal with this video. My goal with this video, again, is to give you every single information, every single kind of, all you need, like the mindset and all the information that you need to make it work. And then you're still going to probably not be the best at it because it's dependent, like it's not about the information, it's about the execution. The execution actually matters, right? Okay, so topic number 2 that I'm going to talk about is obviously the second step, which is converting that traffic. So now that we have traffic, how do we convert that traffic into paying customers, and how do we make money at the end of the day? So this is the fun part. This is where we start making money. Okay, so at the end of the day, I see a lot of people talking about, okay, so you have to become the best person at copywriting, or you have to do this and that, and you have to have the highest quality, fastest loading product pictures and GIFs on your store, and you have to make the colors of your website all align. And yes, but no. Yeah, the only thing that matters is your offer. Like, I've seen so ugly websites do super, super well just because their offer resonated so much with their audience. And offers are the single biggest lever that you can have on your e-com store, on your any business. Like, any business you run, your offer is going to make or break your success, because it doesn't matter how many people you get knock it on the door. If you have a very good offer with guarantees and all these things, and you actually run a legitimate business and get customers results, then your offer is going to crush it if it's good, and it's going to kill your business if it's bad, right? This is why offers are so important, because they make up every part of your website. Your website success depends on your offer. And any business model, like if you watch this video and you're starting an agency after it for some reason, then it's still, your offer is going to make or break your agency, right? It really comes down to having a better offer than everyone else and becoming the most expensive one in the market. Because imagine one thing, like there's always these words of value and price, and what is it? Like, price is what you pay, value is what you get. And if the value that you get is above the price that you pay, that's when someone buys. You think about why you buy. You buy something because you think you're getting more than what you pay for, right? Let's say you buy an energy drink, okay? Very good example, because I'm a very passionate buyer of that product. So when I buy an energy drink, I pay like $1.50, but I get like what the value that I get from it. I get energy, like I get focus, I get all these things. I get, dopamine, I get good feeling, whatever. Okay, whatever you buy. Like for me personally, I buy energy drinks because I feel like I get more than what I pay for that. It's like that feeling, that good feeling, that energy is worth more for me than $1.50. And that's transferable to any product, any service, anything, any business in the world. Let's say you let's say you run an agency, or let's say you're an e-com brand, right? Let's stick to the example. Let's say you're an e-com brand and you buy agency services from someone that's apparently making your creatives. Okay, fine. Now, if that agency costs you like $2,000 a month to pay, so like a retainer plus an upfront payment, and they give you 100 creatives a week, then okay, you say, well, 100 creatives a week, probably like 5 of them are going to be winning ads. So let's say like 5 of them are winning ads. Well, what's going to happen is, with those 5 winning ads, you're going to make like $100,000, like $100K. So you're paying $2K, but you get $100K. Makes sense. Let's say that an agency costs you $5K and they only give you 5 creatives. Now, you don't even find a winning ad with 5 creatives, like if you test only 5. So let's say every other creative test, every other week, you're paying, you're making like 10K, right? So, that was a bad example. But let's think about another example. So let's say they're charging you like, I don't know, basically 5K a month, and then they give you 5 creatives a month. Then every other month you're finding a winning ad. That's not worth it because they're charging you more. The price is higher than the value that you get. And that's when you lose the sale. That's when people click off. And so to make this very easy and transferable on your website, why your copy matters after all is you have to talk about the benefit of the benefit. You have to talk about, like, for example, if you sell a retro camera, a very good product, right? If you sell retro camera, what are you selling? What are you selling? The nostalgia. You're selling the experience. You're selling the friendship, right? But a lot of people start talking about, like, oh, you have 300 gigabytes of storage. Like, no, people don't give a shit. They don't care. All they want is they want the nostalgia. You can take more pictures and videos because you have 300 gigabytes. That's what you have to talk about. And your offer essentially is going to make or break your success, right? The value of your offer has to be higher. Now, how do we maximize the value of our offer? And I like to talk about something which I probably talk about in every video of mine. And if you've been watching my videos, then you're probably annoyed right now. But one thing which I love is the value equation by Alex Hormozi. It's basically an equation which tells you every variable that it's important when it comes to crafting offers. So how does that look like? Well, we have the dream outcome times the perceived likelihood of achieving that dream outcome divided by time delay times effort and sacrifice. Okay, so the top two, which are dream outcome and perceived likelihood of achievement, have to be as high as possible. And the bottom two, which are time delay and effort and sacrifice, have to be as low as possible. And the more you can, like, the perfect 10 out of 10 offer would technically look like this. Dream outcome is insane, like max, like unlimited dream outcome. I'm getting, like, they're promising me that I'm gonna be rich and look good and everything, every goal that I want to achieve in life, right? Perceived likelihood of achievement, I'm also believing that if I take this offer, I'm completely 100% convinced that I'm going to achieve that perfect dream outcome. Time delay and effort and sacrifice. Time delay, there's no time delay at all. Like, I have to do this. After paying, I immediately get this dream outcome. And then effort and sacrifice, none. They do everything for me. That would be an infinitely valuable offer. And you could charge millions and billions of dollars for an offer like this, because it's infinitely valuable, right? So obviously that's unrealistic, right? You're not going to be able to do that on your e-com store, but you can get closer to that. So let's say the dream outcome, you talk about the benefit of the benefit and actually tell them, for example, you're selling a weight loss product. You can tell them, hey, you're going to, get back to your high school weight. Like, you're going to look good. You're going to look better. You're going to find a partner. You're going to feel better. You're going to look in the mirror and look good and whatever. Okay. So selling weight loss, right? But the benefits of weight loss, dream outcome high, perceived likelihood of achievement. Well, they have a guarantee. They have a bunch of testimonials. They have like 5 free gifts with their product. So they also have a community. They also have a course. All these things. They have PDFs. They have guides. They have nutrition plans. All in this offer. Pretty high chance that I'm going to achieve that dream outcome. Okay, so high. Time delay, well, I get the product itself, the physical product, in 3 days because they have very good shipping times, and then all the digital stuff I get immediately, and then I get the community, and I'm immediately going to able to access everything. Obviously, I still have to use the weight loss product, so probably going to take a couple weeks until I see results. And then you have the effort and sacrifice, which is the last variable, and that has to be as low as possible too. So, like, okay, well, I have to actually use it. So effort with weight loss, it's probably effort and sacrifice is, pretty high still, unfortunately. So if you manage to do this as good as possible, you're gonna be able to charge a lot for your offer. However, if you have a bullshit dream outcome, perceived likelihood of achievement is nothing because people don't believe you that they're going to achieve that because it's like, it looks like a scam offer. If the time delay is extremely high because you have a month shipping and then they have to use it for a year until they see results, and then the effort and sacrifice is huge because they themselves have to do everything, that's a bad offer. You're barely going to charge anything for that offer. You have to pay people that they use that offer. Okay. So that's the value equation. That's why offers are so important. Now, let's actually talk about how to craft offers like that. So how do you now come up with an offer for your e-com store, for your e-com brand, that is so valuable that everyone that comes to it is like would feel absolutely stupid and like an idiot if they said no to that offer. And there's a bunch of ways you can do that. And again, this is like creative testing. There's a million ways that actually get you to that goal. How I do it is I look at the offer structure first and then try to enhance it. So the core offer, which Hormozi talks about, right? The offer structure essentially in ecom is, it can be, for example, like the weakest one would be a normal discount. That's what all of you guys are doing watching this video. You're just giving a 50% discount. That's your offer structure. But it can be buy one, get one, or like buy X, get X, right? You could do a low upfront, high shipping, right? You could do a bundle discount. You could have bundles of different valuable products together. Like if you bundle $300 products together and sell it for $200, the value is $300, price is $200. Makes sense, right? Okay. So you look at the structure, you pick a structure or two, right? Split testing, which we're going to talk about, but you pick a structure and then you enhance it with 4 different things, which are bonuses, which are free gifts, scarcity, right? Which is limiting the stock, urgency, which is putting a time limit to the sale, and then guarantees, which is probably the most important one of all, right? So people love guarantees. So 4 different ways to enhance offers, that enhance the value. If you have an offer, let's say you sell a posture corrector. Let's say that's your product, right? Let's say you decided to go with a low upfront, high shipping price, right? It doesn't really make sense to buy multiple, so you decide to sell this for a low upfront price of $19 and then another $10 for shipping, or $15, whatever, okay? That's what you do. Now, this is your structure. There are multiple ways, though, that you can enhance this offer. So first way, obviously, that we talked about is bonuses. Let's say with that posture corrector, you give like a free guide, a PDF, how to use it, and then a community of a Discord server that all the other people that struggle with the same problem, how they solved it. These 2 digital free gifts are super valuable and going to enhance the offer, the value of the offer. Second thing is scarcity. If you use fake scarcity, like every dropshipping store does it, we only have 7 pieces in stock. Works. Okay, it works. Even if it's bullshit, even if it's scam, technically it works, right? You can do that. But a much better way to use scarcity is to limit the amount of free gifts limit the amount of orders that are going to get these free gifts. So like this community and this PDF we're only giving that away for the next 100 orders. Very good scarcity. Urgency, Valentine's Day sale, Mother's Day sale, Halloween sale, Christmas sale, Black Friday sale. Essentially, you have a limit. This sale is not like these free gifts and this discount not going to exist forever. The low upfront plus high shipping not going to exist forever. Urgency. Guarantees, if you do not get if you actually, let's say you write on your guarantee like, we have a 90-day or 180-day satisfaction guarantee, which means if you still have back pain after using our product every single day after 180 days, then we're giving you entire money back, and you still keep the Discord and whatever, the community, right? This is a very powerful, good guarantee, right? And all of you guys are just writing a basic, normal 30-day money back guarantee and then putting it on the bottom of your website, right? If you have a guarantee, then flex it as much as you can. Put it on the top of your website. Put it into the first product picture. People love guarantees, okay? Just about that real quickly. Okay, so now that we've covered that part, how do we actually find out which offer is going to work for us? And there's only one way of really knowing if an offer is going to work for you or not. And that is, my friend, good old A/B testing, or also called split testing, right? Essentially what that means is you have the same traffic source, same campaign. Let's say you send traffic from a Facebook campaign. Cool. That same traffic quality, right? Same people are going to randomly see offer 1, randomly see offer 2. Now, the technical solution of this would be A/B convert on Shopify, like an app, and then they basically duplicating your product, URL redirecting to one offer and the random 50% to another offer. And so random half of your traffic is going to come to product 1, which is the same product, just different offer, and then random 50% to offer 2. And then you can see in real time which offer makes you more money per visitor. So you should not only look at your AOV or your conversion rate, you should look at both, which is your revenue per visitor, right? How much money do you make per visitor? This is a metric which you can just compare to your cost per click and see how profitable you are at the end of the day, right? So this is what I recommend you do. I recommend every time that split testing something, only looking at the revenue per visitor, only most important metric. So split testing, right? Let's say you test in the beginning, and what I would do is I would test different offer structures against each other. You want to go with your split test in the beginning as broad as possible. Like let's say you test a low upfront high shipping for the posture corrector versus a buy one, get one. Now let's say the low upfront high shipping converts better. Let's say you make $5 a visitor here, $2.50 here. Then you know this offer structure is going to work better for me. Now, what can you do? You still keep split testing. Within that, what worked? Again, like iterative media buying, you iteratively split test your offers, which means you go ahead, you have your low upfront high shipping, and then you do low upfront high shipping, this free gift, versus low upfront high shipping, this free gift, or price test, $19.99 plus $10 shipping versus $15 plus $15 shipping. What makes you more per visitor? Let's say the $15 makes you more. Then you test the free gifts, then you test the free gifts. You can do all these different tests and find out which offer works best for you. And you never stop split testing. This is a process, just like creative testing. With your creatives, you can always make better ones, and there's like no cap to it. So you can always make the CPC lower and the traffic quality higher, the conversion rate higher, okay? Same thing you can do with your offers. You can always make more money on your store per visitor, always. Right? So you should never stop split testing. And split testing is the most powerful lever on your offer. And your offer is the most important lever on your store. So if you aren't split testing your offers, then it's, again, you're just it's so easy to set up. It's free because the apps that do that are in that, like, have free trials on Shopify. It takes like 15 minutes to set up. And if you do not split test your offers, especially when you're doing pump and dump dropshipping product tests, like, why would you not do that? It's a huge, like, it has a huge ROI. It's free and it takes 15 minutes. And if your offer structure, let's say you would have just tested this one, but this one works so much better, 10 times as much revenue per visitor, then you have had a 10x ROI, or it's even free. You have a 1,000,000x ROI because it's free. It takes you 15 minutes of your time. So split test your offers. Trust me, split test them, and you will see the results. The differences are massive. And then later on, you're going to get into something which is called micro testing. So you start split testing very specifically small differences, right? So you could split test a point like 29.99 versus 29.95. And you're going to realize that actually does make a difference. That makes quite a big difference if you're at a very high scale, right? And split testing is the most powerful thing that you can do, okay? On your store, if you don't split test anything, then you're missing out on a lot of revenue. That's it. Okay, now, last two topics I'm going to talk about in this video is how can you specifically increase average order value? How can you specifically increase your conversion rate? Or so CRO, conversion rate optimization. So average order value. How can you make that as good as possible? Now you can make your AOV higher with two different ways. First one is your core offer gets more expensive, more valuable, so you can increase price. Second one is upsells. That's how you increase AOV. So I like to test post-purchase upsells immediately whenever I test a product, right? I just like to do it. It just makes me more money immediately. And whenever you find an upsell, and what's very important about that, it has to make sense. It has to be a complementary product. Like if your product makes sense to buy multiple pieces of, then you could offer the same product again. Maybe a different variant, different color. If it doesn't, then no one's going to take the offer. Right? So even if the even if the upsell app tells you upsells have a higher take rate usually if it's the same product, no, like if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense, right? So it has to make sense for your product and offer a very, very good upsell. It has to be a very powerful upsell. So Once you offer that, and once actually people start taking it, you just split test that again. You split test the product that you upsell. And then once you have one, which is very good, you split test the offer in that upsell, right? The price, what you get. Maybe you could also enhance the upsell offer with free gifts, guarantees, scarcity, urgency. Again, offer, it's essentially an upsell offer. So it's the same thing as before. It's just instead of the core offer, it's an upsell offer. It's a different product, but it's an offer as well. And split, like upsells are very, very powerful, and upsells oftentimes make up for the added fluctuations. And a lot of dropshipping brands, if you have a 30% fluctuation on Facebook and it's your only traffic source, then let's face it, let's face it, 30% fluctuation can be extremely profitable and extremely unprofitable. That can make the difference. Like 30% fluctuations can make that difference. So when it comes to upsells, like they can make up for it. Obviously, email marketing, Google ads, retargeting on Facebook, all these things retargeting is also making up for that. But AOV is very powerful if you increase that with an upsell. It's the easiest thing to set up in the world, like easiest thing ever. And then the core offer AOV, making your stuff more expensive. Essentially, I look at it this way. Let's say you keep split testing and you make more and more and more money per visitor, which is cool. But the most important part of that, or what we want to do with this, is increase our AOV specifically, right? Sometimes when you decrease price, you make much more because your conversion rate is so much higher, but we still want to have high AOVs to be able to spend more for each customer. Makes sense. Have a high ROAS. So if you increase your AOV, right, how you can do that is by actually just providing more value, putting more stuff into the offer, making it more valuable, and then just increasing the price until it breaks. Increase the price until there's like a cap, right? If you don't increase your prices, then like even inflation, like money is worth less and less and less. You have to constantly increase your prices to even just keep up, not even growing your business, just to keep up with the inflation, right? So constantly increase it until there's a big dip in conversion rate. Like I'm talking 4% to 0.5%. That's a too big price difference. But if you constantly increase your price by $5, $5, and then until you find that cap, like let's say you do that 5 times, you get away with it. That's a $25 AOV increase, which is insane. And a lot of brands could pull that off, but you don't know because you don't split test. Start A/B testing. All right. Second thing is conversion rate optimization. How can you make your conversion rate higher? Now, this is absolutely insane of a topic, and I could talk for another hour about only CRO, but just to summarize everything, the most important part of conversion optimization, it comes down to the perceived likelihood of achievement. So if you look at the value equation, the most important lever that you have in your conversion rate is the perceived likelihood of achievement, which means the people that see that offer, right, they have to believe that they're going to achieve that dream outcome that you promised as much as possible. And so you do that by showing so much social proof that they are choking on it, right? So you have to absolutely, completely bomb them with social proof after testimonial, and then they start to believe more, and guarantees. Guarantees are the best way to also increase conversion rate because people believe more. Again, people perceive likelihood of achievement. People believe more that they're going to achieve that. So that's pretty much it about that topic. I'm not going to talk too long about that, but yes. All right, guys, if you watched all the way through this video, then first of all, respect for actually having a solid, good attention span. And I want to say thank you for giving me your time and your attention. Right? And again, try to absolutely implement these things that you learn into your business today, not tomorrow, and write your main takeaway into the comments if you're still watching. And yeah, at the end of the day, I wish you a beautiful day. Have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you're from, and definitely keep implementing this into your business. Have a great day.